We're going to remind everyone, if you don't want to speak on item A3 after you've spoken on PH3, please say so and we'll take you off the list. Go ahead.
Okay. No on the budget, no on reducing the contingency reserve, and no on creating a committed reserve. We decided to ask the public, and we sent out a flyer, we did a petition, and we've got over 1,000 signatures here. 1,000 people. Just imagine them sitting in this room. 3/4 of them made comments. You can read the comments. The comments all say, this does not make sense. We're in a fiscal emergency. Cities do not give $16 million to a private project, And stop with the, oh, we're not private. It's not run by the city. That's what private means, right? So it does not make sense. The most that they ever give is maybe 10 million. The LA County Housing Authority, their maximum is 10 million. And we're going to give 16 million, potentially 36 million to Jubilo? It doesn't make sense. They need to find their funding elsewhere. It's a great project. Let them find the funding elsewhere. What are we going to do with the 16 million we need right now for our homelessness services, our rental assistance, our mortgage assistance? These are all essential things that are threatened by giving $16 million to a development that we should not be supporting.
Thank you.
Can I just to keep things moving, as we have 70 whatever commenters, maybe if you agree, I know a lot of people have signs. Thank you.
Yep. Next we have Gary Zeiss with 1 minute seated.
Are you going to put up the slide I sent you?
I will as you start speaking. Thank you.
Well, it's part of my beginning, actually. So,
Okay.
thank you. Would you support Jubilo Village if it was being done in cooperation with the Westboro Baptist Church, the guys on the top there? Or the First Works Church in El Monte, whose website says, "We believe that homosexuality is a sin and an abomination which God punishes with the death penalty." I certainly hope not, but you can't use city funds to give support to a church you agree with while withholding support from a church you don't. That violates your constitutional duty. Jubilo Village is a project. The Jubilo Village project is a textbook example of a preference. They have been clear, but for the city's contribution of general funds and reserves sufficient to cover the fully prepaid lease, their new religious facilities would not get built. You might be thinking, we're not funding a church, we're funding housing we need. But that's not grounds to violate the Constitution. The financing structure and stated goals of the project show preference and aid to the church. Public statements of the developer and the church support that conclusion. Ms. Barasukis wrote about that Jubilo Village helps the church continue its mission. What's that mission? Building the kingdom of God in Culver City as it is in heaven. That's clearly religious, no matter what their social justice commitment. Diesel Lindgren, senior church representative, wrote about how the new church property could be used for a variety of things. That doesn't meet the standard. The standard is indirect, remote, and incidental. That's neither remote nor incidental. Here, CCSM is simply acting as a conduit to funnel city funds to a religious institution for religious purposes. That's unconstitutional. Maybe the loan conditions, but will the city let the project go unfinished? The political embarrassment would be untenable, let alone the health and safety risk. Jubilo Village will be a sucking sound on the city budget for the foreseeable future. Please do your constitutional duty and vote no on this project. Thank you.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Stephen Jones, followed by Joanna Gullick.
Thank you. I want to strongly encourage you to agendize funding CCUSD's request for funding. Thank you to Councilmember McMorrin for bringing that up. Also, please fund the 2 Parks Department requests, 1 for the senior management analyst, so we can keep improving our parks, and 2 for more pay for part-time workers so that we can pay our lifeguards more. Those are both in the Parks Department requests. And then finally, also fund Jubilo Village. We have a $14.8 million structural deficit, and cutting Jubilo Village won't even come close to closing that. We have to do a lot to close that up. It's going to eat up our reserves in a couple of years, even if we cancel Jubilo Village. But we have a $200 million general fund budget, and there are other places to find the money to close that deficit. And we have to close the deficit. But cutting Jubilo Village will not do it. This is 93 homes for low-income people. Let's welcome them to Culver City. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Joanna Gulick, followed by Maria Ramos.
Can you speak up? I can't hear you. Who did you call?
Hello?
We can hear you.
Thank you. Mayor and City Council members, I'm speaking tonight in support of the Jubilo Affordable Housing Development. In the 35 years I have lived in Culver City, with the exception of Tilden Terrace, built over 12 years ago, affordable housing has been a non-starter in our city. In the short time I will address one of the claims that opponents of Jubilo are making. Opponents claim that the funding of Jubilo will go to the building of the church, a la the previous speaker. A new church will be built, but that is because the church has to be raised in order to build and give more of the land to the 95 units for affordable housing. Otherwise, we would only be able to build 25 or 30 units. In order to obtain the land to build the 95 affordable units, Jubilo Partnership will lease the land from the church at an under-market rate for 75 years, and the 95 units will be deed restricted, meaning they can only be rented to individuals and families. Thank you.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Maria Ramos, followed by Crystal Alexander with 1 minute seated by Kenneth Alexander. Not seeing Maria in the chamber or online. Our next speaker is Crystal Alexander with 1 minute seated by Kenneth Alexander, followed by Chris Grossman.
Good evening, Council. I am not here speaking as the chair of the PRCS Commission. I'm here speaking as an individual, and I'm also speaking as the former and last elected treasurer of the city of Culver City. The fiscal responsibility should not be a political football. That is what it has turned into in Culver City. The amount of misinformation that I have heard regarding Jubilo Village exceeds the height of the Vets Memorial Building Tower. It's incredible. We have had a number of individuals who are in appointed positions in this city providing misinformation to the community, specifically regarding the necessity to hold 30% reserves. Some of them have even claimed that Government Finance Officers Association says that we only need 15%. It's very easy to go on the internet and find out that a former planning commissioner, one you have just appointed to the Planning Commission, have given misinformation to the community. I was a member of the GFOA, and I can tell you that they set that 15% as a minimum, And what they suggest is that if your city is subject to volatile swings in your revenues due to sales tax and business taxes, you should have more. If you have a situation where you have aging infrastructure, you should have more than 15%. It outlines all those things. So I just wanted to set the record straight for the community as a person who spent more than 30 years working in public finance, that the reserves going down to what your CFO said is dangerous.
Your
Thank you.
time has expired. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Chris Grossman, followed by Meta Valentic.
Okay. Hello. So the $4 million you've already squandered on the Jubilo Village project is a sunk cost and should not be considered in any further decisions. Draining our budget of $16 million to fund this boondoggle puts us all at risk, especially since we're seeing budget deficits, and it'll probably go up when the Republicans do drain the federal funding. That's going to happen. We have many, I believe our funding should go to support our excellent city employees' services and ongoing infrastructure and maintenance projects. There's no legitimate excuse for wasting money on this Jubilo project. So yeah, I reduced it because I had it for 3 minutes.
Well said.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Meta Valentic, followed by Disa Lindgren.
Thanks for staying up late, everybody. I'm in favor of the Jubilo Village project. We have a dire need in this city. Why is there a velvet rope across Culver City for only certain people to live here? That's ridiculous. A line from a wonderful Culver City Crossroads op-ed has stayed with me for the last few days. Over the last 10 years, we've made sure you can buy a $20 smoothie at Erewhon, but we can't figure out how to let all kinds of people have the ability to live in Culver City. This is our duty, this is the law, and this is what's morally right. So stop putting flyers full of lies on my doorstep and being hysterical, and let's just get to work and do this thing. Thank you all very much.
Good evening, Mayor O'Brien, Vice Mayor Puza, and members of our City Council. My name is Disa Lindgren, and I'm here to strongly urge your support for Jubilo Village and the budget and all the other parts that are necessary to help the project proceed. I've been thinking a lot about that old Dickens line, it was the best of times and the worst of times, because Lord knows we are experiencing a lot of calamity right now in our county and in our nation. And it's such an amazing thing to have the opportunity to do something really good in our community. Sure, it won't solve the housing crisis, but it will make a huge difference to 95 households. That'll be individuals, couples, and families. For 75 years, that's a lot of people that will have a home to live in and will be able to contribute to our community. They aren't here tonight because we don't know who they are yet, but they're going to be valuable members of our community. Thank you.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Johan Dodge, followed by Nancy Barba.
Mayor O'Brien, Vice Mayor Puza, and City Council. My name is the Reverend Johan Dodge. I am the pastor at Culver Palms, the church that is doing the money grabbing or is turning over 2/3 of our property, which is necessitating that we go down to a considerably smaller church physical plant to allow for 95 units of housing to exist. And so we are doing that because it's the right thing to do, not because we need a new facility. We're doing that because it's the right thing to do to house 93 families. There's 2 managerial units, total of 95 units. We're doing that because This city needs more housing at an affordable level. If we were church, I'd say amen. Amen?
Our next speaker is Nancy Barba, followed by Kelly Estes, Michelle Dennis, Davis Park, Sheila Iverson, Mark Herskovitz, with 1 minute seated by Sarah Herskovitz, Barbara Burney, Lindsay Carlson, Mary Duvall, Eileen Pottinger. Our next speaker is Nancy Barba.
Thank you, staff. Good evening again, staff and council members. I'll keep it short. Please support Jubilo Village. We need to, there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. This is the right thing to do. Culver City has fallen short of building affordable housing. And beware of everyone that's saying, I support affordable housing, but. It's that but that kills all of the goodwill that we can possibly do in our city and in our community. This is a yes and. Do that. Please also fund those 2 positions for Parks and Recs. And please support the updated budget process. We need more community members involved in these super important decisions. And finally, I am shocked to hear that it's never brought up to the council that CCUSD is asking for funds. Please agendize that. Thank you.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Kelly Estes, followed by Michelle Dennis.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Kelly Estes, a resident of Culver City from 1981 until recently, and still a housing provider here since 1986. I encourage council to rethink their previous decision on Jubilo that contains a sweetheart interest rate, questionable relationships, and vote no on this budget, including this odd $250K for consultants, and along with the resolutions, and send back for revision. In this environment, it is irresponsible of the council to ignore the current events and what is more than likely to come down on Culver City along with the rest of the state. We shouldn't fear, but we should be prepared and responsible. The current federal government doesn't care if it doesn't matter if Culver City prevails or not. Money will be needed for lawsuits, ignored projects, looking for grants that won't come.
Your time has
School
expired.
district wants
Thank
money.
you.
I just ask you to reconsider. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Michelle Dennis, followed by Davis Park.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I am Michelle Dennis, Certified Public Finance Officer, former Director of Finance for Santa Monica for 20 years, and a 44-year resident of the city. The city has 2 key budget problems and a budgeting problem. One budget problem is for 10 years, the city has adopted general fund budgets where planned expenditures exceed incoming revenues by an average of $10 million per year. Next year, that gap is not $21.9 million. A second budget problem is a structural deficit that is projected to be $14.9 next year. The budgeting problem is that the city's current budget process has produced these dysfunctional results. It would be folly to continue the city's budget process as it is. It must be revised by directly involving residents throughout the steps of the process. The $250,000 in the proposed budget will help to revise the city's flawed budget process to do just that. These problems must be corrected to restore fiscal accountability.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Davis Park, followed by Sheila Iverson.
Hello, my name is Davis Park. I am a resident of Culver City of the past 14 years, and the proposed site for Jubilo project is about a block and a half away from where we live, and we fully support this affordable housing project. Culver City is in desperate need of additional places where people can be a part of our community. We've had many friends who have expressed a very strong desire to be a part of this community, be a part of the city, but they just simply could not afford to live here. So we, as residents of the community, very much support this project. This is our backyard, and we would highly encourage council members to adopt the resolution to help support the funding of this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Sheila Iverson, followed by Mark Herskovitz, who has 1 minute seated by Sarah Herskovitz. Not seeing Sheila online or in the council chamber. Our next speaker is Mark Herskovitz, with 1 minute seated by Sarah Herskovitz, followed by Barbara Burney.
Good evening. My name is Mark Herskovitz, longtime Culver City resident and extremely concerned citizen. I have 10 reasons why giving $20 million to Jubilo Village is a terrible idea for our city. Number one, the city literally cannot afford it. You declared a fiscal emergency, so you shouldn't be putting $20 million expenditure on the budget. Number two, it's illegal. According to the California Constitution's Establishment Clause, you cannot give money to a church, even indirectly. Number three, it's overpriced, nearly $900,000 per unit to build, way above current building budgets. Number four, there's a signed petition with over 1,000 signatures against this project. The citizens have spoken. Number five, there is a clear conflict of interest. I'm sorry, Vice Mayor Puza, but there's a clear conflict of interest. Disa Lindgren, the head of Culver Palms Methodist Church, was the campaign manager for Mr. Puza. There is a conflict. Number six, we are putting all our eggs in one basket. All our project-based Section 8 vouchers for the next 20 years, worth $16+ million. This is insanity. Number seven, your own staff has told you this is a bad idea and that we can't afford it and that we will have to cut city services and lay off 50+ staff jobs if this budget were to pass and the tax not pass. We're seriously going to lose jobs and city services for this. This is atrocious. Number eight, there is no guarantee that Culver City citizens or workers would get first dibs on units. It would only be a recommendation. Recommendations are not enough. Number nine, the head of CCSM, Tara Baraskis, wrote in her recent article to Culver Currents that the church is retaining ownership of the land to, quote, spare Jubilo millions of dollars in property taxes. We're getting out of property taxes on purpose for this. Number 10, we have to dip into our emergency reserves to help pay for this.
Your
what if there's a
time has
real
expired.
emergency?
Thank
like
you.
a fire. And a bonus one. Number 11, Councilmember McMorrin. Yeah, Council McMorrin.
Sorry, your time is up. Thank you so much. You've been turned off.
Not to be making
Thank
Ms.
you.
Herskovitz.
Thanks.
deals with city dollars. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Barbara Burney, followed by Lindsay Carlson.
homeowner in Culver City, and I want to speak in favor of the Jubilo Village. I think it's really important that Culver City do its share in terms of affordable housing, and I think that this is a great project. It will help us maintain enrollment in our schools, which we need, and it will, and it's also extremely environmentally sound. And I think that we are certainly facing a deficit in terms of what the feds are going to provide, but you know, we can't take that out on people who need affordable housing. You need to support Jubilo Village and affordable housing. Thank you.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Lindsay Carlson, followed by Mary Duvall, who has 1 minute, seated by Art Namora. Lindsay Carlson. Not seeing them in chambers or online. Our next speaker is Mary Duvall with 1 minute, seated by Art Namora, followed by Eileen Pottinger.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council. I'm here tonight to give my full support for the Jubilo Village project as presented in the budget document before you this evening. I have been participating as a community member in the discussions about Jubilo since, I believe, the very first community meeting several years ago. I remember it being well attended. I remember that we gave criticisms and suggestions about the size and scope of the project, about its visual configuration, about its placement on the lot, about its impact on the neighbors. The community core representative took notes and carefully reported back the changes made as a result of each comment at subsequent meetings. It was impressive. Many comments I hear now could have been brought up at that meeting or at any one of the subsequent 4 additional community meetings. If you had objections to this project being on church property, you could have brought that up years ago instead of waiting until the 11th hour. Jubilo Village did not just suddenly appear from nowhere. If you vote no on Jubilo Village tonight, you will be part of the long Culver City heritage of privileged white people, mostly men, who refuse to meet their responsibilities as stewards of our redevelopment agency funds and build affordable housing. Could I have some order here?
Please be respectful of all speakers, no matter their position. Please be respectful.
You could choose to break that cycle. You could choose to take responsibility for wrongs that have been done in the past, or you can continue to prioritize the comforts of the privileged. Don't be fooled by the false choices and equivalencies that people will use to try to convince you that we cannot afford Jubilo Village. We can afford it, and we must afford it. Some people say if we fund Jubilo Village, we will have to cut basic services for our Culver City residents. There is no data to back this up. Its only backup is fear. We don't have to be ruled by fear because we are Culver City strong.
Your time has expired.
We will stand together, and we will stand with our neighbors who have the least and who need us the most. Please fund Jubilo.
Thank you. Our next speaker.
Mayor, I'm sorry. Can we ask that folks just not boo other speakers and...
Please don't boo other speakers. Please don't clap. Please don't go over. I've been giving some grace in all of that for both sides.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Eileen Pottinger.
Hi, I have many friends and neighbors here on both sides of this issue, and I think it speaks to the complicated nature of the issue, especially in understanding budgets and understanding how budgets work. I'm here to speak in support of Jubilo Village. As a neighbor of the property and a CCUSD teacher, I look forward to expanding housing, helping more families experience our excellent school district, with the added benefit of helping alleviate declining enrollment. I share concerns of others regarding finances, but financial choices reflect values, and I want to live in a city that values inclusivity and housing solutions.
Thank you. Our next 10 speakers are Mark Warwick, Solomon Namala, Patrick Megan, Tara Barakas, Carolyn Labuser, Nindi Kintonga, Simon Fraser, Kenny Stevenson, Melissa Sanders, and Margaret Peters. Our next speaker is Mark Warwick.
Council members Moore and Fish and Puza. Your chief financial officer and your city manager have listed all the drawbacks and risk in approving this Jubilo budget. Binding Culver City to a $20 million Jubilo project, assuming there's no cost overruns, for 93 affordable units, plus 43 housing vouchers, costing another $16 million in present value obligations, with HUD and Section 8 under attack, potentially being eliminated by Trump's administration, is financially ignorant and injurious to people that were living here and employed here in Culver City. If Culver City right now has 643 approved affordable housing units currently in development pipeline, completely paid for by developers and costing the city not a single penny, it appears your ideological preference is not in providing financial security to Culver City, but the Jubilo project appears to be your workaround to ultimately defund the police, city services, and city employees to make up your future budget
Your time has
needs.
expired. Thank you.
With great respect, I thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Solomon Namala, followed by Patrick Megan.
Good evening, council members. I'm Solomon. I live in the neighborhood here, not very far from here. I'm in support of affordable housing. The concern is that we can't afford it because there is a structural deficit. But, sadly, if you look back, we looked at the graph previously, we've had surpluses the previous decade. But housing, affordable housing was not a priority there when we had surpluses, when we could have afforded it, right? So, in fact, when we had surpluses, the money from RDA, where we were supposed to actually invest some money in affordable housing, we used those funds for some other purposes. We are in dire need. Based on RHNA, Culver City needs 1,700 low-income units by 2019.
Your time has expired.
2029.
Thank
So please
you.
support this.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Patrick Megan, followed by Tara Barakas.
Mayor O'Brien and council members, tonight you have the opportunity to do something truly amazing. You finally get to help fix what we all helped to break. For decades, we've been the breakers. We've added tens of thousands of jobs in Culver City while permitting almost no additional housing units, especially not units affordable to the working class folks who power this town. This has strained the regional housing supply. It's exiled our labor force into faraway towns and made Culver City affordable only to the very rich or very lucky. By voting yes on Jubilo Village, we can stop that breaking and start the fixing. By voting yes on Jubilo Village, you'll help 93 poor and working class families make Culver City their home. By voting yes on Jubilo Village, you'll change lives in ways you can feel forever proud of. And we Culver City residents and taxpayers will feel proud too. So please vote yes on Jubilo Village.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Tara Barakas, followed by Carolyn Labuser.
Good evening, Mayor O'Brien and council members. My name is Tara Barauskas. I'm the Executive Director of Community Corp. We're the nonprofit that will develop Jubilo Village in partnership with Culver Palms United Methodist Church. Community Corp is a nonprofit that's been developing affordable housing for over 40 years. We are experts and recognized leaders in this field, and we are confident we can deliver Jubilo Village as we have over 2,000 affordable housing units so far. Jubilo Village will prioritize Culver City residents, and it will be permanent affordable housing. Our lease with the church is for 75 years, and after that, we plan to renew it. We understand the current fiscal challenges of the city, and we appreciate the $16 million loan so we can preserve our tax credits. Community Corp agrees not to go back to the city and ask for more funding. We have over $2 million in construction contingency, which is a healthy budget based on our extensive experience and projections of economic conditions. The city's 42 vouchers can be preserved following necessary steps. After the commitment, we can sign an AHAP by August, which would then be a binding commitment.
Your time has expired.
By voting yes,
Thank
you
you.
declare affordable housing as a priority. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Carolyn Labuser, followed by Dindi Kintonga.
Good evening. Good evening, Council. Mr. Puza, first of all, shame on you. Shame on you. This is your third budget cycle, and you understand very well the fiscal reality that we're in, and you know how irresponsible voting for this Jubilo Village project is. Next, Mr. Fish. It's your first budget cycle. Seems like you don't understand very much at all. What you do understand is a total commitment to your wokerati out here in the audience or watching online. Great. Keep it up. As for Ms. McMorrin, for 4.5 years, we've watched you read the teleprompter on your laptop. How much you understand is debatable. Keep it up. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Dindi Kintonga. Not seeing them in the chamber or online. Our next speaker is Simon Fraser, followed by Kenny Stevenson. Not seeing them online or in the council chamber. Our next speaker is Kenny Stevenson, followed by Melissa Sanders.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
All right, I'm a Culver City resident and homeowner, and I'm speaking to give my full support to the Jubilo Village project. Listening to so many people talk about how we need to fund other projects for the people who live here, I remember that this town was founded as a sundown town, designed to keep people out. Henry Culver advertised this city as a place for white people to escape urban blight. Henry Culver would be opposed to Jubilo Village. We're better than our past. We have an opportunity to provide housing so we can bring more people into Culver City, not keep them out. Think of the new families this project will bring into our city. Several of the elementary schools had to cut kindergarten classes because there weren't enough students. Jubilo can help with that. Districts get paid for every student who comes to our schools. The school district needs money, as a lot of folks have pointed out who are opposed to this project. We always find money when the police need something for their already massive budget. We can do affordable housing. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Melissa Sanders, followed by Margaret Peters.
Good evening. I want to be clear that we are all for affordable housing, but this unfortunately is not the project to make it happen. Number one, you've declared a fiscal emergency, and to give, well, it would be ultimately $20 million in direct funding, and then giving over $16 million in voucher funding is outrageous. You will not have any support for a tax vote that you want to help save the city. If this goes forward, you are looking at ruining the very city that you want these people to live in. You're also taking away every single penny for those who need assistance now, who need rental assistance now, who need outreach now. This is outrageous that you would put a political stance on this issue. And Freddie, the optics of you still sitting there and not recusing yourself is shameful. Think about this whole thing. You've got 1,000 signatures. There's your people who are voting about the budget. Ta-da!
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Nope.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Margaret Peters, followed by Ann Trelevin.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for having me. Again, I'm the vice chair of the PRCS Commission, but I'm not speaking on behalf of the commission. I'm speaking as a private citizen. First, real quick, please fund more staff for PRCS. We desperately need more staff. We want to do the Parks Master Plan. We want parks. Everybody in this town wants parks. We love parks. Please fund more positions for parks. But I still think it's a false choice to set up Jubilo Village against our budget. You know, year after year, the budget seems to just be to take last year's budget but tweak it a bit. If we follow the plans by Councilmember Fish and McMorrin to really look at the budget, I'm sure we'll find programs that we don't really use any longer, items that are redundant, and so on, to make a budget that reflects our current needs, not our needs from 20 years ago. We shouldn't pit priorities against each other. We should find creative ways that allow us to have great parks, great housing, and supports everybody here in Culver City today and into the future. So thank you so much for supporting all of these great projects.
Our next 10 speakers are Ann Trelevin, Kathy Brown, George Doherty, Brian McMahon, Marcy Bond, Haifa Momamar, Kevin Lekoff, Dexter O'Connell, Ron Basilian, and Robert Scott.
Hi, Ann Trelevin. Clearly, I'm in favor. You've seen me before. I'm also from Culver Palms United Methodist Church. This is a project that we started not because we were thinking about our church, but because we were thinking about the city and what the city needed. There's been a lot done in the city that's been very, very good about rescuing people who are living on the street. But what happens is once they establish themselves here, send their kids to our schools and get a job, they have to leave. So all the money we've put into them is gone. They don't get to be a part of the community that they have grown used to. They get to be a part of some other community where they have to start over. This is the piece that's missing. And this is the project that is ready to go. This is the project we've been planning for 6 years to help the city and help the people in the city, including the people at the school district where there are families right now who do not have secure housing. Families that could live here, families that could participate better, families that don't have to struggle to figure out where they're going while their kid's going to school.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Please help us finish this project.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Kathy Brown, followed by George Doherty. Kathy Brown. Not seeing them in the chamber or online. Our next speaker is George Doherty, followed by Brian McMahon.
Good evening. I hope a place like Jubilo Village gets made. Affordable housing is desperately needed in our area. But I respectfully encourage the City Council not to pass the recent budget with the inclusion of as much as 20 million, maybe more, pledged towards the project. We have to ask ourselves, how much should Culver City be obliged to chip in, and how much can we reasonably afford? 20 million is way out of the realm of what's reasonable. Culver City doesn't have it. And watching the graphs tonight, it's pretty obvious. The funds will have to come from somewhere else. Reductions in staff, services, maybe the parks won't get revitalized, streets won't get fixed. And the worst idea of all is recklessly draining the city's emergency funds. Without even a preference for Culver City residents leveling up from temporary housing, we are in effect.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Brian McMahon, followed by Marcy Bond.
Council. My name is Brian McMahon. I'm a resident of Culver City. I also work in the affordable housing industry. Regarding our I have 2 points to make. Regarding our very real budget issues, I would urge people to remember that there's a big difference between expenses and investments. This is an investment in Culver City real estate, not just an expense line item. And I think a lot of people here would probably agree investing in Culver City real estate has worked out well for them. One other point, speaker earlier urged that we ought not to follow the example of the city of Los Angeles. I agree. Very few American cities have done as bad a job of providing enough housing for their citizens than the city of Los Angeles. Let us not follow in those footsteps. Let's build enough homes in Culver City so that all the people who work here every day, who work hard to make Culver City the wonderful place that it is, can afford to live here.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Marcy Bond, followed by Kevin Leckoff.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I am here to urge you to vote no on the Jubilo budget. I am speaking as a private citizen, not as a PRCS commissioner. I, however, do support spending the money on the parks. We do desperately need more staff at our parks. But my concern with the Jubilo Village is that it is going to drain everything. The people who currently live here, who are dependent upon the money that for the low income that are dependent upon that for rent, that's going to go to Jubilo Village. What will happen to them? The ones depending on for their mortgage, what's going to happen to them? Will they have to leave and no longer be Culver City residents for this pet project that's going to drain our reserves unnecessarily? If the church and SMCC can't find the funding, maybe it shouldn't be built.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Kevin Leckoff, followed by Dexter O'Connell.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Recently, Councilmember Fish made a call to the greater public for input on the city budget and priorities, so I'm here to answer that call as a concerned citizen, stakeholder, and community member. I urge you to remove the Jubilo Village project from the budget. Do not arbitrarily discard the 30% reserve budget to fund this. It is not in line with the stated policy of the city's reserve funds. If the project cannot move forward under its own economics, especially with the vouchers already committed to it, that's a problem. But it's their problem, not that of the community at large. The city should not deplete its reserves for the Jubilo project. It's not the purpose of the reserves. If the council thinks the reserve amount is too high, it should take the time to study the financially responsible amount and not simply reduce it to the 21% for a whim. The city does not have the funds to commit. If they had extra money to pass around after the budget were balanced and fully funded, then it should support CCVUSD, as others will likely ask tonight, but not a private joint venture between a developer and a church. It's not a priority for the community. Thank you.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dexter O'Connell, followed by Ron Basilian. Dexter O'Connell? Not seeing them in the chamber or online. Our next speaker is Ron Basilian. Ron Basilian? Not seeing them online or in the chamber. Our next speaker is Robert Scott. Not seeing them online or in the chamber. Our next 10 speakers are Marta Valdez, Jody Reichel, Judy Sherman, Kathleen Loser, Amy Brunel, Carol Ableth, Michelle Weiner, Mark Fiera, Nathana Lurvy, and Kira Push. Our next speaker is Marta Valdez.
Okay. Good evening. It's me again. And, listening to Lisa, thank you, Lisa, because I am such a layman. I didn't know what the heck was going on earlier. Months earlier. And I did go to your in-services. Thank you very much. It gave me a better understanding. And then I was able to communicate that to other people in my community. So, that being said, we hired her. Why aren't we following what she's saying? We hired a city manager. Why aren't we listening to him? I really, really think we should take what she says, that we're going to be in a deficit, and not fund Jubilo. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Jody Reichel. I try.
Hi. I'm so glad I stayed awake. This morning, I received a message from the group Our Culver, claiming that billionaire-funded local groups are trying to kill affordable housing developments in Culver City. So for the record, I have not been approached by any billionaire-funded groups, and I don't know of anyone who's against affordable housing in Culver City. What I'm against is using our city's emergency funds for a private housing development because it will leave us underfunded and unprepared when true emergencies like earthquakes and fires and economic downturns happen. Catastrophic events often occur with little or no warning, and those who fail to put aside and maintain sufficient funding for emergencies inevitably suffer far worse devastation when those crises arise, and Culver City's already in a fiscal crisis. Allocating millions of dollars of our emergency funds to the Jubilo Village project is betting the health and well-being of this city and all of its inhabitants on the apparent belief that despite the current administration's tariffs and its decimation of FEMA, you don't think we need to be so well prepared for emergencies.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Judy Sherman, followed by Kathleen Lozer. Judy Sherman.
Judy, we can hear you.
Okay, am I on? Okay, thank you. Good evening, City Council. I believe that the city should take the calculated financial risks that may result in the city not receiving the full repayment of the loan that the Corporation of Santa Monica is requesting so that Jubilo Vision project can proceed. Indeed, it is a shame that this corporation has lost a great deal of credibility, and because of that, the city must keep their feet to the fire with specific conditions written into our agreement with them. I emailed you the specifics. We want to make sure that we get qualified legal advice, which sadly has been questionable recently, and I'm not talking about the diesel thing, okay? Regarding other issues in the city, this corporation had to have known, given their stated extensive experience in building affordable housing, that much of the money they were requesting from various programs could not be used to pay back the loan to the city because of having tax records. Did they find that out before their March 2025 presentation to the city? I find it is hard to believe that they had just found that out. Nonetheless, some of the programs do not have the tax credit regulation, and there is a very good chance they will come through.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Kathleen Lozer, followed by Amy Brunel.
Thank you for the time. I'm a 47-year Culver City resident, a landlady, and I'm here to speak for Naomi Tejeda, who was my maid for 20 years, and she became a citizen on my watch, and she is now living in El Salvador because she cannot afford to live here. And also for the Turkish gentleman who came in from Lancaster for $50 to put together a trunk for me, and must have made only $20 after what he had paid for spending all that money on gas. There is a great need to have people who work for us live near us.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Amy Brunel, followed by Carol Oblett. Amy Brunel. Not seeing them online. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Not seeing Amy Brunel in the chamber or online. Our next speaker is Carol Oblett.
Good evening, council members. I know some of you campaigned on a platform of affordable housing, and I think Jubilo Village is an excellent opportunity to create affordable housing in Culver City, which we desperately need. So I hope tonight that your vote will reflect the ideas upon which you campaigned. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Michelle Weiner, followed by Mark Vieira.
Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. Jubilo Village addresses our actual ever-increasing critical need for affordable housing. Housing expenses in Culver City are 184% higher than the national average, making it one of the most expensive cities for housing in the U.S. But we are stuck in a single-family housing perspective, while fewer and fewer of us can afford to maintain that lifestyle. According to Jenny Schutz, former senior fellow at the Brookings Institute, the community process that we're engaged in was born in the 60s to address cities putting, and the state and federal government putting in Black and Latino neighborhoods, big projects, highways, and so on without any community input. But now this process is being weaponized and used disproportionately by our privileged members of this community who have the time to engage and advocate for maintaining the status quo to the
Your time
detriment
has
of
expired.
everyone else.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mark Vieira, followed by Nathana Lurvy.
Good late evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. I urge your support for Jubilo Village. I'm part of a generation that was told, work hard, get a degree or two, and things will fall into place. For many of us, that promise has cracked under the weight of student debt, rising rents, and not sure if you noticed, but economic and political chaos. I've worked in tech, a sector once seen as secure, but now layoffs of hundreds or even thousands are routine, with skilled engineers relying on contract work to make do. No one's immune from the instability. They and teachers and service workers and people earning close to minimum wage and LGBTQ plus people and members of other marginalized communities all deserve opportunities to secure housing. Projects like Jubilo Village create more than just units. They create space for people to build community and live with dignity. On a final note, as a gay man, whether or not it's Pride Month, it did not feel necessary to see the word fag used as a prop on that screen. I really wish we would have done better. Thank you.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Nathana Lurvy, followed by Kira Plush.
Council members, thank you for allowing the public speaking to go on as long as it's going, and I appreciate your dedication. I also appreciate the dedication of the professional financial analysts who presented very nicely the fact that we need to make hard choices. And there are two conversations happening in this room tonight. The people who are supporting Jubilo are holding up signs that say, we love it. They're talking emotionally. Your presentation from your staff was hard numbers. Those are separate conversations. We can want something badly and not be able to get it. The church, my understanding of the Methodist Church is those lands are held in trust collectively. The Methodist Church has discretionary funds. Why is the church not going to them? to ask for a loan. They can't sell that land. It's not really theirs to sell. I was involved with a Catholic organization that went to Rome to get the permission to give up their land, which is now housing in Inglewood. Thank you.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Kira Push, followed by Dan Griffin.
Hi, I'm in support of approving the proposed budget. We've long deprioritized building affordable housing in Culver City, and while that's not the fault of the current city council, it nevertheless falls on you all to address the resulting and ongoing housing crisis. Building up affordable housing stock is an exercise in incrementalism. We need to invest in it when and where the opportunity arises. If we're averse to this shovel-ready project that needs only this last portion of funding to be made possible, I have a hard time believing that any future project will meet the standards those against it are trying to uphold. Circumstances will never be perfect, but we can and should help 93 units worth of people now. What are we hoarding emergency funds for if not to help our neighbors by providing them with stable, permanent homes? All that said, I fully agree that the budget process needs an overhaul. Enabling greater public input through participatory budgeting would be a welcome change and one that has proven to have significant positive impact across many other cities. Thanks.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dan Griffin, followed by Michael Ansley.
Hello, this is Dan, and I want to thank everybody for the patience tonight and for the efforts over the years. I don't think the fact that this is an 11th hour conversation is relevant. I fully support affordable housing. I do not support this project. What I would support and would hope that the council would consider would be an ad hoc committee made up of stakeholders who could truly look at this issue now that it has been fully brought to the public's attention and to make some of the hard decisions. I don't believe anything done out of urgency is ever done well. So I encourage you to not rush a vote, even though this has been years. In many ways, it is a new conversation. It needs to be handled that way. And thank you for your consideration, and take care.
Thank you. I want to remind everyone that we are on item PH3. Oops, that's me. Sorry.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
PH3 is for the approval of the budget, which currently includes Jubilo. A3 is for discussion and direction on the terms and conditions of the loan for Jubilo Village. If you have signed up for A3, but you want to speak regarding the public hearing, please come and talk to us at the city clerk desk. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Michael Ansley, followed by Maria Fontaine.
Good evening, council and staff. Thank you to everyone here for being here so late and working so hard. I want to thank the staff for their tremendous work in making the budget more visible and transparent. Thank you. I'm here to speak in support of the budget and the Jubilo Housing Project. I want to urge the city council members to support this for two reasons. Number one, Culver City must produce affordable housing as required by our RENA commitment and our most recent housing element, and this project would contribute substantially to meeting that goal, would create 93 units of badly needed affordable housing. Number two, I urge Culver City and the council to honor our commitments. We promised the nonprofit developer Community Corp of Santa Monica the 93 project-based housing vouchers that made the project financially feasible, and when those couldn't be provided, this $16 million bridge amount is to help fill that gap. So we need to help them and ourselves not be negatively impacted for years to come in being able to produce affordable housing in our region. And lastly, I just want to say I also want to urge your support in the budget inclusion for that additional amount so that we can improve our budgeting process. Thank you so much.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mariah Fontaine, followed by Ronald Ostrin.
Hello. Please abide by your commitment to fund the Jubilo Village project. I urge everyone to read Jean Black's article posted in the Culver Crescent today if you haven't already. I don't know facts, figures, and history like her, so I will make a personal plea. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. famously stated that budgets are moral documents and reflect our priorities. Spending choices have moral implications, whether we spend resources to ensure equity, diversity, and inclusion, or we spend resources only for those who have the privilege and means to live here. I was a homeowner in West Hollywood for 10 years, and while not perfect, I was proud of that city's commitment to affordable housing. I was expecting to feel the same when I moved here. What brought me to Culver City was the love of my job teaching at Culver City High School and a desire to be more involved in the greater community. We can choose both affordable housing and excellent schools. Affordable housing will bring young families, diverse families, and enrich our schools. Please do not renege on your promise to fund this project. Also, please agendize CCUSD's request for budget assistance and update the budget process. Thank you.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Our
Ron
next-
Ostrin.
oh, all right. With 1 minute seated by Leslie Ostrin.
Good evening, Council. Thank you, staff, for your efforts tonight. I don't know what I can say because I think this is almost a done deal. It's kind of a vanity project. I think that if one looks at the hard facts of our budget, you could not vote for this budget funding the Jubilo project. It's too big. We shouldn't be responsible for all of that. We've already made a $4 million commitment, which is about the maximum size that most other cities make. So maybe we could ask them to seek alternative financing. I don't know about you, but I see bad things on the horizon. I see federal funding cut down. I see a disaster. And this city needs resilience. And for you to rush headlong to fund this project, I think is reckless and puts our city in danger. This project offers no public ownership, no repayment guarantees, no priority or preference for Culver City residents or workers, and no guarantee that the project will ever be built or that we will get our money back if it fails. Is this going to be another high-speed train project? I think you need to slow down. I think you need to look at your responsibility, your fiduciary and financial responsibility to the city, than rather rush headlong into this project. It pains me to have to speak against an affordable housing project. It pains me. But there are better ways to do it. And if you pass this, you're going to torpedo all the great progress we have been made in helping the homeless, because all the housing eggs will be sucked away from this. I don't think you've looked at the ramifications of this. I don't think you understand the cruelty if you pass this. The Jubilo project doesn't have to die. It just has to seek additional funding elsewhere. Thank you.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Carol Ann Garrett, followed by Maria Remas.
I'm 81 years old. I'm handicapped. I need to be at home, but this is very important. You don't have the money to do this. You say it's going to cost $20 million. You say you need money to put in your reserves, but you're not getting enough money coming in to put it into the reserves. And then if you have to do this, how are you ever going to get any money back? This is going to go on more than 20 years, more than 75 years. A little city like Culver, and you're little. You're not a big city. You got 30,000 people, you say, who can pay some money because a fourth of the people here can't even afford housing. How 30,000 people going to pay this off? You got any ideas? It is so fiscally irresponsible that I'd like to sue everybody who votes for this. It is not a clean deal. You are not able to pay it back. What if an earthquake comes? Trump is going to cut out food stamps.
Your
Section
time
8
has
housing.
expired.
Many
Thank
things
you.
will be cut out. You need to take care of your deficits,
Thank you.
not this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Maria Ramos, followed by Lindsay Carlson.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, great, thanks. So I'd like to address the council members who have supported Jubilo Village. I know that it's been very difficult to steadfastly look for ways for the city to actualize this development. And I know that you are receiving opposition, much of it taking the form of personal attacks and even lies about the project. So I want to take my time to thank you for your vision, your fortitude, and your commitment to your values. I know that you're trying to change the identity of Culver City from the 1950s sundowner town it has always been to a city that welcomes all. And that takes more than pithy signs on lawns. That takes city investments like Jubilo, because the real estate market in Culver City makes renting and owning possible only for the affluent. So thank you for not saying, as so many do, I am for affordable housing, but thank you for saying, I am for affordable housing, period. I support you, and I'm one of many.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Lindsay Carlson, followed by Candace Simmons.
Good evening, council members, and thank you for finding me on the Zoom. I'm Lindsay Carlson. I'm a CCUSD board member, but I'm not speaking on behalf of the district tonight. Rather, I'm speaking as a Culver City resident and a mother of a 7-year-old CCUSD first grader. My husband and I bought our home and moved to Culver City in 2014 with the dream of sending any children that we might have in the future to Culver City schools. Our schools are central to our city, and the reason our city is as prosperous as it is. However, due to a confluence of factors, many of which are beyond our control, our district is in dire financial straits right now. I'm not here to pit one request for funding against another, but I ask of you tonight, and the only ask I have of you, is that you think about how you can better partner with the district and assist our schools from a financial perspective. I can assure you that an investment in our schools is not only the right thing to do for our children, but it will pay off in spades for years down the road as young families continue to choose to make Culver City their home. I'll be watching how you choose to approach the issue. I'm sure that many of my peers, including over 330 people who've signed a petition supporting the city funding the schools, will be watching too. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Candace Simmons, followed by James Richardson.
Good evening, council and everyone there. I am a 20-plus resident here in Culver City and a small business owner, and I strongly oppose including the funding for the project at this time. Spending nearly $20 million of our reserves on a project that doesn't guarantee homes for Culver City employees or income-qualified residents is fiscally irresponsible, especially while facing a structural deficit. I heard all the programs that would not be funded if this project is approved. When I asked for support for small businesses impacted by the pandemic, during the pandemic, I was told the emergency funds were only for emergencies. If that's the case, why are we handing over millions for this project? Now with the proposed quarter-cent sales tax on the table, why are we asking residents and businesses to sacrifice more while approving spending for something that does not help our city? I'm asking you to prioritize small businesses and not fund this project at this time.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. And our final speakers are James Richardson, Kevin Dedicatoria, Deanna Newell, with 1 minute seated by Ross Piro, and Whitney Osborne. Our next speaker is James Richardson.
Good evening, council.
let me just go say I fully support Jubilo Village. And I was going online because I wanted to check how many non-government organizations you all have in Culver City. Apparently only found 35 of them. I think it's a false choice to say that you can't fund affordable housing and not fund other projects. I am going to advocate for a non-government organization that actually handles all the stakeholders, ways of building alternative funding so that you can fund all these projects and it doesn't have to hurt your budget. Lisa, thank you so much for giving a clear view of how the budget works. I want to be able to look at it further. You're hearing this from a person who was homeless, and thanks to you all, the past 2 years, I've actually gone through the whole process. So I really want to see how I can contribute back in ways that make sense. With hope. All right? Peace.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Kevin Dedicatoria, followed by Deanna Newell.
Hello again. I am speaking to support Jubilo Village. It's not just an investment in 93 places for affordable housing and for people with low incomes to live. It's also investing in services that we assume that, you know, it's not enough to just give housing. It's also necessary to give services that the village will actually provide. I think it's, you know, misleading to actually deny this where, say, those who are developers may or may not provide these exact same services. It's still, at the end of the day, left up to speculation. And I hope that the city doesn't forgo this opportunity to not just invest in the city, but also among affordable and low-income housing and services. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Deanna Newell with 1 minute seated by Ross Piro, followed by Whitney Osborne.
Thank you, Mayor O'Brien and City Council, and thank you, Lisa, for all of the numbers today. I know this is very confusing, and I appreciate that you're trying to make it as clear as possible. First of all, I just want to start off and say shame on pro-Jubilo people to trying to pit all of us that are against Jubilo by saying that we are white privileged and don't care about Culver City. I care about Culver City. I care about affordable housing. I want people to be able to live here. I want my kids to graduate college and be able to afford to be able to move back here. But I also see where we are in a financial crisis right now, and it just really, really irritates me that you're trying to pit me that way, because I am very morally right, and I try to help my neighbors all the time. Anybody who knows me knows that. So first of all, let's separate that. This is a financial issue. This is not me saying I don't want affordable housing. It's me saying I'm concerned about our city. I moved here to Los Angeles in 1994. That was right after Northridge. We have not had a large earthquake since I've lived here. I'm terrified about what's going to happen. And the fact that we just went through all of these fires in January, we're in trouble, people. Something's going to happen. Trump is here right now. ICE is happening. There's ICE raids. He's got it out for California. There's so many things that could happen here, and we need our reserve fund for an emergency. I started thinking today, what is an emergency? I looked in the dictionary. An emergency is a serious, unexpected, and often dangerous situation requiring immediate action. Yes, housing is important and it's serious, but it's not unexpected. We've known this has been happening. We've been trying to make it work, and I get that we want to make it work. I get that. But I am terrified about us depleting our reserves because something is going to happen, and we are going to need those funds. I beg you, you were elected to be fiscally responsible and to have all of our interests at heart. We have 1,000 people that have said, please, do not pass this budget with Jubilo in it. Thank you.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Whitney Osborne, followed by Steve Siegel and Rosie Gable. Our next speaker is Whitney Osborne.
My name is Whitney Osborne, and I am a Culver City resident, small business owner, and voter for more than a decade. We can talk about numbers and budgets all day long, but deep at the heart of a no on Jubilo Village is the belief that some deserve housing more than others. It saddens me to think about how some of our neighbors, many of them privileged enough to own their own homes, want the council to vote against this without actually understanding how affordable housing funding works. Culver City is a diverse community, and that diversity is one of the things that makes us stronger. So let us not forget that socioeconomic diversity makes our lives, our experiences, our schools, and our communities richer. Living alongside people who haven't had the same opportunities as you will only serve to expand your mind and open your heart if you let it. I urge the council to vote yes to fund Jubilo Village. Decades of cities saying no, not in my backyard, is exactly what got us into this housing crisis in the first place. Thank you.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Steve Siegel, followed by Rosie Gable.
Thank you. You can hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Awesome. As a taxpayer, I've chipped in as Culver City has spent more than $40 million on homeless services. We've done more than our fair share. It doesn't matter, in this case, how much people want housing. We can't afford it, and the project is probably illegal. The staff report as of June 2nd, 2025, gave the City Council a very clear and unambiguous warning about this project relative to the violation of California Constitution, Article 16, Sections 4, 5, and 6. I heard at the last meeting that this is a violation and the city will be sued, and the council members that vote yes for it will likely be named as defendants, and there will be no immunity for them on this. This is quite interesting. Ms. Tara, I don't know her last name, Borowskis, I believe, spoke. She's the executive director of CCSM. She did mention this is a nonprofit. Her salary at least is $235,000. It's good for her, but not everyone is volunteering in this project. This is a money-making project that is violating the Establishment Clause of the Constitution. Those who vote yes for it, this is just not right.
Your time has expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Rosie Gable, followed by Denise Neal. Rosie, are you on the line? You're unmuted. Let's go to our next speaker and we'll circle back. Our next speaker is Denise Neal.
Good evening, Mayor O'Brien, council members, and community at large. I have questions. I spoke to the hedge fund today. The hedge fund wants to know how it can help with the 20 million that's needed, but I need to know if it's necessary or possible to bifurcate the city's 16 million that belongs in the emergency fund, and then maybe just work with the hedge fund to try to get that taken care of. Must both coexist? Does the 16 million have to stay in place for CCSM? Because the hedge fund wants to speak to the nonprofit to see how they can help. They need hard numbers and they need a timeline. And if we can leave our emergency funds alone, then I'd like to do that. But I need more information. They're waiting for CCSM to talk to them tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, we're going to try for Rosie Gable again.